Now let us talk about the modified bituminous binders. So modifiers are the materials which are added to enhance some specific property of bitumen. So basically in neat bitumen we added some modifiers to enhance a specific property depending on the needs. So as it is written there, so if you want to enhance some specific property of this material and improve its performance in certain aspects, then for that purpose we need modifiers. See, there are different type of modifiers in the market, right? And as per the requirements, these modifiers are used to make the modified mixes. Now, why these modifiers are required? Because over the years, the traffic loads have increased, the tire pressure have increased, the truck overloading have increased. So all these things leads to faster deterioration of the pavements. So in order to tackle that, a simple plain bitumen grade is not enough. We need some modifiers to deal with these things, right? So these are the some properties which are quite needed to be modified by using modifiers. They are listed to make the binder stiff at high temperature to minimize rutting. So what happens during the summer seasons? During the summer season, due to rise in temperature, the pavement become soft. Due to softening of the pavement, which is due to the softening of the binders, rutting is observed in the road. Now, what is rutting? Rutting is basically the horizontal depressions on the road. Suppose this is a road pavement surface, so this is the depression that is observed on the along the wheel path, right? You might have seen on the highways, right? We add modifiers so that it does not become soft in high temperature and remains stiff. Now, vice versa, at low temperature, what happens? These bitumens become too brittle, and due to the brittleness, some low temperature cracking is observed. So, what do we want? We don't want the binder to become too brittle. So, we add modifiers to soften it. Next is improve fatigue resistance. Now, as we know that the fatigue is one of the major cause of the distress in flexible pavement. So, more the fatigue resistance, then better is the life of the pavement. So, definitely this is one of the most important aspects that modifiers are added to improve the fatigue resistance. Right. Next is improve aggregate bitumen bonding. What is this aggregate bitumen bonding? As I told earlier that bitumen is nothing but is a glue. Glue to stick to aggregates. Speaking in simple terms, right? Glue to stick the aggregate. Suppose these two are aggregates shown in red, and this is the basically the binder. So this binder is between the aggregate which actually holding it together. So better is this the aggregate bitumen binding, the better is this binding, the better mix it will be, and hence the stripping will not be seen. What is stripping? Stripping is basically the aggregates which strip out of the pavement, as you might have seen on the roads. So it reduces stripping. Such some modifiers might be added to increase the aggregate bitumen bonding to reduce the stripping. Now increase the durability. So the certain modifier might be added to increase the durability of the pavement. Next is some modifiers permit thicker films to make special bitumen mixes such as the stone matrix asphalt. Now stone matrix asphalt is a special mix in which is a gap graded mix. Now, what is this gap graded mix? You might have studied in soil mechanics. This gap graded mix is a certain size of aggregate is absent in the mix. Okay, and due to this gap grading, they have some special properties. Basically, they are more rut resistant. Okay. But in order to make that mix, it's better if we have a thicker film. Now this thicker film can be made by using certain modifier. So basically, these are the few things that are usually added, few additives that are usually added to bituminous mixes to tackle these problems. Certainly, there might be some other problems, which is depending on the site and conditions that needs to be tackled, for which some modifier might be explored and added. On the next slide. Polymers and rubbers, these two are we have been using in India. From polymers we make PMB, or polymer modified bitumen. Next is rubber. From rubber we make CRMB, which is crumbed rubber modified bitumen. Basically, this crumbed rubber come from scrap tires. You know, there's a lot of problem of scrap tires. So this chrome rubber modified bitumen is one of the ways we can utilize the scrap tires, and definitely we would increase its properties by that. Now IS 15462 2004, this is a particular IS code, is classified the polymer and rubber modified bitumen into four types. The first is PMBP, plastomeric thermoplastic based. Basically, this is a type of polymer, plastomeric thermoplastic. So PMBP is a plastomeric thermoplastic based. Next is elastomeric thermoplastic based, PMBE. Next is natural rubber or SBR latex based. And next is crumb rubber that I told you from scrap tires. Right. So these are the four modifiers which we have been using in India, and hence the IS code has classified into these four parts. Now this use of modifier in bitumen in India is done as per the IRC 53, use of modified bitumen in road construction. Basically, the Indian Road Congress had released certain guidelines to use modified bitumen in road construction. We will see a little bit about it. Let's go to that. Right. So this is the IS code IS 50 SP53 2010. What is this SP? SP is special publication. Basically, some IS codes were written earlier. After that, some special publications were codes were written based on the demands. So basically, it's one of the special publication. You can get the list of all the codes and special codes on the IRC website. You can get all the latest code with the latest revisions. Okay, now discussing about this code. This particular code or manual is guideline of use of modified bitumen in road construction. As I told you, this is basically the second revision of the code, which is in 2010. Actually, the first revision was in February 2002, and the second revision is in 2010. Now, what this code specifies, the introduction, the scope, the advantages, the requirements of the modifiers, the type of bitumen modifiers, applications, manufacturing, special requirements, transportation, design of mixes, construction operation, quality assurance and storage and handling of modified bitumen mixtures at site, sampling and criteria. Basically, right from mix design to construction, everything is specified in this particular manual. This manual can be referred. Okay, some test methods, what has to be employed, they are also written there. Now let me brief little bit about this manual. So the opening lines on the manual are: the flexible pavement with bituminous surfacing are widely used in India. As you know that, the high traffic intensity in terms of commercial vehicles, overloading of trucks, and significant variation in daily and seasonal temperature of the pavement have been responsible for early development of distresses like rutting, cracking, bleeding, shoving, potholing of the bituminous surfacing. A factor which causes concern in India is very high and very low payment temperature condition in some part of the country. See, usually if the temperature is a certain region has a colder temperature, then you can use the mixes which are suitable for the colder temperature, right? Some regions have a hotter temperature, so the mixes can be used accordingly. But in, as you know, in our country, there are some regions in which the extreme temperature is observed at extreme cold or extreme hot, and we can make the payment only once, right? So we need some modifiers which can be used to deal with both the temperature. So that is one of the reasons this modifier needs to be used in our country, right? So it is written that under these conditions, the bituminous surface tends to become soft in summer and brittle in winter, as I already discussed. So studies have revealed that the properties of bitumen and bituminous mixes can be improved or modified with the incorporation of certain additive or blend of additives, and these additives are known as modifiers, and the bitumen mixes premixed with this modifier is known as the modified bitumen. Use of modified bitumen in top layers of the pavement is expected to significantly enhance the life of the surfacing and extend the time of the next renewal. Full-scale performance studies on overlay carried out by various research institutions like IIT under the aegis of MORTH, CRRI, Highway Research Station Chennai, Rubber Board Kerala, Gujarat Engineering Research Institute, and various PWD departments have revealed that the use of modified bitumen in construction and maintenance of bituminous roads significantly improves the pavement performance and its cost effective when life cycle is taken into consideration. What is life cycle? Life cycle means the initial cost, the initial cost, the construction cost, maintenance cost till its life. If you consider all these things, then definitely modified bitumen is a better option. Right, as I told you, the IS 15462 has classified in these 4 parts. It's written here. See, rest of the thing, the scopes, the advantages that I already discussed with you, the requirements of the modifiers, the types of modifiers, the manufacturing and specification requirement for modified bitumen. If the contractor is making a mix, the mix should have the following properties, then only it can be approved. Okay, the transportation, how to transport these modified mixes, and the design of mixes, construction operation, and quality assurance in storage and handling of the modified mixes aside. Basically everything is discussed here. Okay, so you can refer this code when using modified bitumen. Okay, coming back to the presentation. Okay. So nowadays waste plastic is being explored as an additive in road construction. Waste plastic is used in additive road construction, which will lead to a sustainable development. It means that India produces a lot of waste plastic every day, and this waste plastic has to be utilized. So certain researches are conducted by CRRI and some other institutions that this waste plastic can be utilized in the wearing coat of the mixes, which definitely enhances the property. And also this waste material is utilized. Okay, so IRC SP 9298 you can refer for this application of waste plastic in wearing coat.